Zoom. Hello, everybody. This is Elisha Keating from wisdomseekers.net, and we're here today with Elizabeth, and we're going to talk about raising spiritual children. We are not doing an interactive today, but you're more than welcome to ask questions on the subject. We'd love to have questions on the subject. And why did it do that? We cleared the cache on my computer. Now everything has to start from scratch. So, okay. So, yeah, I didn't do my interactive on Friday or Saturday. I did it yesterday. And
okay.
Yesterday I had some of the most interesting questions. So,
what did you get?
I can't remember all, individual. But they're starting to be more interesting questions than is Johnny, the love of my life, and things like that. They're just more diverse.
Yeah.
And it's not that I mind Johnny, the love of my life, but kind of diversity is more fun.
It is.
Hello, Mama B. No questions. We're talking about spiritual children today, Mama B. So if you have questions on children,
Mama B.
We have that.
Yeah, we're actually talking about nightmares with children, nightmares in general, and which I'm willing to talk to you about nightmares in general as well. But this video is raising spiritual children. So I guess we should just jump right into the topic, which will be fun if I can.
So tell me about the prompt, the idea behind this.
The reality is everybody has bad dreams on occasion, right? We may not remember them sometimes, but everybody has a bad dream at least once or twice in their lifetime. And some of those dreams stick with you too, by the way.
Oh yes,
but children, especially young children, dreams can really affect them, because they take them more seriously than we do. Especially younger children who have a hard time between reality and made up stuff, where the lines are blurred. Dreams can really affect them. They can also, if they're sensitive, right, or if they already having problems, the dreams can cause them not to want to sleep, right? Can cause behavior issues. They can also be a clue that your child is having an issue, right? So a lot of times young children can't articulate, right? Well, if you listen to their dreams, you can kind of get an idea that maybe something, what's going on in their life, if you know how to interpret them, right? So they can be very informative. It's also, I think, important not to magnify the dreams. All right, because
that would be difficult if you're trying to get information, though, right? Is there ways of doing that?
Just listen instead of talk. A lot of times we like to lead our kids with leading questions, and then what happened? And then what happens, and stuff like that. More say, tell me about your dream, or if you had a nightmare, what was the nightmare about? And then address the issue, but then let the dream go. Don't make it a thing, because the need for attention is in all of us. And then younger children can start making things up because mommy is listening. Mommy and daddy are listening.
Oh, my
So
Elle, when she was young, she'd start out telling us her dream, and
uh-huh.
then it would get longer and longer and longer. And we're going,
Yeah.
Elle,
Yeah.
but again, and she could go on for an hour if we left her.
Yeah. And after a while you're like, oh really? Uh-huh.
After a while, we're going, no, no more.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, so you want to make sure that you're getting like the actual dreaming and not triggering a need for attention,
Yeah.
right? So, and that's hard to do. I did it with my son. So my son is like me, has horrible nightmares, horrible nightmares. So this is a topic that I have a lot of personal experience with. You know, we didn't, I didn't, I didn't give the dream power over his life. I sort of took the power away from it. One of the things I would do is, would you say, okay, well, what did you dream? And he would tell me his dream, and I'd be like, wow, that's pretty terrifying, son. You know, but that's not reality, right? So you don't have to worry about that. Um, and then I would check on what the dream meant, because a lot of times if I could explain the dream to him, it pulled the power out of it, right? So once he understood it, he's like, oh, okay, you know. And then another thing I would point out, where maybe in his life, in life events, it was just a reflection or a trigger in his life. So like, yeah, you had that bad dream, but don't you remember you watched that monster on Power Rangers?
And that will do it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Elle used to dream occasionally about snakes, and she
Mhm.
says, "Mom, I was awake. There was a snake in the bedroom." Well, there was no snake in the bedroom, so I used to just tell her that snakes were energy power creatures, that they have energy in them,
Mhm.
and she'd go, "Oh, I still don't like snakes."
I don't blame her. Yeah, we can make one of the things that I did was make dream bags, right? Dream bags.
That's a
And
really good idea.
it really is. It's a lot of fun too. And the kids can get quite crafty with them, you
Mhm.
know. So like with a snake, I would say, oh, let's put some mothballs in it, because snakes don't like mothballs. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
So,
ritual, I do believe, especially with children,
mhm.
forms of ritual help so much.
It does. It gives them power over something they don't feel like they have power over.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's it. And you need to explain to them. Doesn't mean you're not going to have nightmares. We all have bad dreams. Right. It's just part of life, and we tell our kids this. We all have bad dreams. We don't want to give the dreams any more power over their life than we can. We don't want to make it stunning. Oh my God. And that's hard to do, because a lot of the images that my son would explain to me were quite terrifying.
Yeah, I know. I remember my
Yeah.
kids' dreams, and they're so much more vivid than adults' dreams, I believe. So one of my daughters just described a black face with fire eyes and teeth that were coming out, and I go, "Ooh, I think I'd be scared of that too."
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's what you say. Well, I would be scared of that too. But let's do some things. Let's take care of this. A lot of my son's dreams were um, biblical in nature. Sort of could be tied to, um, you know, they were formidable. Let's put it that way. And
Why do you know why he would have dreamt about Bibles and stuff, biblical stuff?
I not really.
So it could be
Uh,
a bleed to from another lifetime even.
yeah, it could be, or it could just actually be, um, you know, genetic. I dreamed that way when I was a kid too.
Oh, okay.
So, it could just be a genetic tracer that runs down our line. We get those prophetic, horrible dreams. Which, by the way, they don't always have a horrible meaning. Okay. So that's another thing that we need to explain to our children. Just because it was a nightmare and it upset us doesn't mean it's going to translate into something horrible. Right? So dream symbols, they're just words we don't understand. They're just a language we don't understand. So we may be misunderstanding the message, right? So this is another way to come at it.
I always
You know,
told my kids to, what was the feeling behind it rather
yeah,
than the images.
yeah, yeah. What was the idea? What were you watching before you went to bed? What were you reading before you went to bed? These are things that, as a parent, you need to be aware of. So that you can trace down real life images. What's influencing your child's dreaming? Is something actually causing the nightmare? Avoid things like, you know,
Horror movies.
you need to be aware. Yeah, you need to be aware of just because it says it's a children's movie doesn't mean that there's not something dark your kid's picking up on.
My
There
my
was
kids
recently took the
my kids are afraid of ET. Well, Elle was afraid of ET for
yeah
years.
yeah yeah. I don't know. I don't blame her. He's kind of creepy.
He really was, wasn't he? But the other two,
Yeah.
they were fine, but she was younger. So, yeah, for years she would not watch that show.
Yeah, I don't blame her. And then my son still blames me for ruining his childhood by watching Watership Down, letting him watch Watership Down.
Well, yeah,
So
those are not children's books.
they aren't, and that cartoon was not meant for children. But he had watched it, and I was a young, stupid parent, like many young, stupid parents.
You don't
You see a
know
cartoon, and you're like,
what's a cartoon.
yeah, yeah, it's a cartoon. Shove that sucker in the. Back then we had VCRs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And watch it. You'll be fine. And then, I started watching it, and I had read the book, but I didn't think that they would actually go that far with a cartoon. And I was like, God dang, man, I'm a bad parent. You know, you do things like this, but you need to be like, if you become aware of what your children are watching on TV, you can see the reflection in their dreams, and you can point out, or you had this event in your life, like you had a bad time at school, and then you had a bad dream, right? And you can point this out. The dream was just this was mirroring your emotional state. It's nothing to be afraid of. When should we be afraid of nightmares? When they're chronic, right? It's okay to have an occasional bad dream, right? That's okay. But when you start having a child that's having nightmares every night, every night, every night, you need to start asking yourself what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you may want to get mental and medical help. There are certain sleep disorders that can cause bad nightmares, right? There's certain disruptions in the sleep cycle that can cause bad nightmares. These are things that you may want to talk about with your pediatrician.
How do you
Like
talk
they're
to them?
having
How do you
nightmares.
explain that to them so they listen? How do you say to a pediatrician, hey, my kid's having nightmares? And the guy goes, well, that's normal.
Right, that's normal. I would log it. How many nights of the week do they have a nightmare? And don't tell your
time,
child you're doing that. Yeah,
times
yeah,
things.
yeah. Don't tell your children that you're doing that, because again, we want to be we don't want to be in, it's a balance, right? We don't want the child to begin to think something's wrong with them, because then that worry will just escalate nightmares. You know, but we do want to start, oh, they had a nightmare Monday, they had a nightmare Thursday, they had a nightmare, their nightmare Saturday, you know, you bring that to your doctor, right? So then you're not just a mom that said, oh, he had like 3 nightmares and I'm worried. You know,
Yeah.
you have the journal, the piece of paper marking down how many nightmares he had that month or she had that month.
We did an episode on bullying, and I know when my eldest daughter was in school, she was bullied. All my kids, for some reason, were bullied, maybe because I'm a strange mother. Because I'd send weird food to, I'd send food to that was atypical, and they got noticed. And I did at that time. I didn't realize. But my daughter would have a lot of nightmares about that time related to being bullied.
Excuse me.
You have a daughter? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
sorry.
In that case, we know what the thing is, what's causing it. But again, how do you talk to this school and say, hey, this is what's happening? Because I know I wasn't listening to it. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's hard to get professionals. Yeah, I'm just dying here. It's hard to get professionals to listen to you because they think they're professionals.
And they don't listen.
And they don't listen.
They really don't.
Again, the best thing that you can do is you can have it journaled out. You can have it logged out. You know, this are the incidences. You're causing my child. And in America, you have a great weapon. You have an excellent weapon because you can say, you're causing my child emotional stress. I'm going to my lawyer. And they will listen to you. Trust me. So
Canada's not.
But yeah,
you can't quite do that. But I also know
no, you can't.
I had so many meetings and they never listened to anything.
Yeah.
Ever. I'm not a big proponent of the school system. I'm really not a good person to ask.
It's hard dealing with any professional, especially in America if you're in a certain socioeconomic bracket.
Mm-hmm.
Right? If you're in a certain socioeconomic bracket, you're sort of not seen as worthy of being listened to.
And I was a single mom.
Exactly. So you have to get a little pushy sometimes. And it's hard to do for some of us because we're not pushy people, right? You're not pushy, you're not assertive. This takes skills and training and
and at that time I was not I'd just come out of a divorce or separation divorce, and my emotional levels were a little scattered, so I didn't have that behind me.
Right. And this is sort of and I understand completely where you're coming from because I was in the same position, single mom, lower socioeconomic background, just not worthy of attention at all.
Amazing that how money is important, or having a man in the picture.
Right. Either or will help you out. But if you don't, sometimes, especially with nightmares, like especially with doctors, because doctors can be such assholes. I have less respect for doctors than I do for school systems. But sometimes you have to be critical and logical and in your face about it. This is a 30-day span. This is how many nights my son or my daughter had a nightmare. I suspect something is going on. You went to school for 8 years, right, to become the professional that I come to with this problem, fix the problem. Sometimes you just have to go there, journaling it out, having it
there too. I didn't know that, So
right.
that's why you're here, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm here. That's why we're talking about this. So y'all don't make the mistakes that I made as a single
Mhm.
mom. I made the mistake of trusting the professionals.
Yeah.
You know, that's a mistake. You're your best. You're your child's best advocate. Beautiful lady we just got finished having a video with. She spoke about this. You're your child's best advocate.
Yeah.
Uh, so you're just gonna have to make them hear you, right? You're gonna have to do it, and it for many of us, it's overwhelming already,
Yeah, it was for me.
right?
I was
Yeah.
up to here and I didn't know how to deal. Mm.
And we don't because we got to work and we got bills and we got to get food on the table, and the dog pooed in the living room and puked on the couch, and the kid wants another pet, and there's problems at school and the teacher wants to have a teachers meeting, and the school's already called you 8 times. you know I got called by the school 8 times one time in one day, and I was like, I work graveyards.
What the hell?
Yeah, right. If he's not bleeding to death, why are you calling me? I don't need to know that he's doing this at this moment, right? You know, it was ridiculous. It wasn't needed phone calls. It was harassment phone calls
Oh, yeah. It
because I
sounds
had
like,
given him a hard time. Yeah, because I had
okay,
given
it's
him a
this
hard
time
time.
phone.
Yeah, yeah. So it was that, and just you're gonna have you. I have been at war with schools for every school that my son went to until I pulled him out of the education system. So I know the fight that you're fighting on a very intimate level.
And
But
that's
when
the
it
same
comes
with
to
me.
nightmares,
I pulled my daughter out and things emotionally settled down and it calmed down
mhm,
at nighttime. And everything was much more balanced when I pulled her out of school. But
it
but
can be.
yeah. Anyhow, we should go back to nightmares. Like,
Yeah, yeah, it can be. Yeah, that's my very first thing. Monitor how many nightmares they have. They're gonna have bad dreams. We all have bad dreams, right? I would argue 4 or 5 bad dreams in a month, not bad quota. You know, um,
especially when kids are
we
growing
all
and
have.
changing. Yeah.
Right. If you're going through a stressful ordeal, like, okay, I know recently there was that town up in Canada. God bless you, people.
That
Oh my God. I
it just
can't even
vanished.
imagine.
30, an hour and a half. It was
Vanished.
gone.
Yeah. And there they are. No home, no things because they couldn't take anything.
Nope.
Your child is going through something stressful like that. They're going to have more bad dreams than normal. So are you. That's okay. That's normal. That's you adjusting to the situation. Perfectly normal. I wouldn't worry about that, right? I would call a professional in if you are having, nightmares every night of the week. If 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 non-remembered sleep patterns are not, are the rare thing, or good dreams or normal dreams are the rare things, let's discuss what a nightmare is. All right.
And that's not just for
A
kids, so that's for
nightmare,
adults too.
that's for adults, right? Exactly. Um, I have horrible nightmares. I've had horrible nightmares all my life. Until I learned they're not really exactly nightmares, right? And once I learned to translate the dream language, I was getting it, man. Boom, boom, boom. I got it. That's why dream interpretations is one of my most favorite readings to give you. Because if you can understand the dream, all right, it's no longer a nightmare. Right? It's just something in your life you're dealing with that you need to kind of work on. Right. So once you get the dream meaning down, oftentimes the nightmares change. They shift or they go away. Um, a nightmare is not just a disturbing dream. We will all have disturbing dreams. I dreamed last night that somebody grabbed me by the ankles and pulled me into a drawer. So
I'm sorry, but that's a little bit funny. Why a drawer?
it is. It is. I Just a really good question, right? Because I'm dealing with a lot of other people's issues and I'm having to suppress my own.
Mm. And so it wouldn't
And
be an
so I'm
abyss or
having,
ocean or a lake. It would be a drawer
right,
because you
right.
put
I would be just,
bottom
I'm
drawer is your
just,
stuff. Mm.
right, right. So I'm having to like, yeah, stash them in the drawer. So you can see with that example how easy it is to realize that's not really a nightmare, right? It's just a bad dream, right? When we
So you're
escalate,
making a difference between nightmares and bad dreams. Can you,
right?
what's the difference?
The nightmare you're going to remember the rest of your life because it is so graphic and horrible and um, earth-shattering, nerve-wracking. You wake up and you're not going to want to go to sleep the next night just in case you have it.
Oh, okay. And the bad dream is
So
just
we're talking
yucky.
just a bad dream. Yeah, it's just a bad dream. You know, now a bad dreams can scare kids. So you have to start realizing, is this just a bad dream? You know, because my son or my daughter ran 20 to 45 miles today and, you know, was eating frogs and digging in the dirt and they're just overly tired. Is it just a bad dream triggered because they watched TV and ate gummy worms and popcorn for dinner? You know, so, you know, this difference between bad dreams and nightmares to me, as
Mhm.
far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
Nightmare images. You know, a good one for me, I had this horrible nightmare where I was going up a bridge. Started out just like a normal bad dream, going up the bridge and the middle of the bridge was out. Okay. And so that's a good thing. I'm not connecting, right, with, yeah, I won't explain it. I won't interpret it for you. I'm just going to tell you what the dream is. So I jump over the bridge to get to the other side, but I missed. So now I'm falling, and we equate falling with nightmares, right? Because it scares us. Really, for me, it's just a bad dream. My nightmares get way worse. So there I am falling, right? And so I start running in the air because I figure if I run fast enough, I can get to the land and not touch the water, right? So I run, but I get to the land, but one foot gets in the water. And this bony hand reaches up and starts pulling me under, and I can see all these other hands trying to grab me. And so, like, I'm screaming and I'm kicking, and I wake up screaming and kicking. Um, that was actually a triggered nightmare, by the way. I had fallen asleep, and the sheet, I had the bad dream, which was the out bridge, right? What triggered the nightmare was when I had reached the other side of the water, the sheet in real life had wrapped around my ankle and my
Ooh,
feet.
okay, yeah.
Right. And so it triggered the hands pulling me under. Okay. So that was a triggered nightmare. And those hands were bony and skeletal. I don't know why my brain went there because I'm crazy. And, you know, and it was just a horrifying experience. But I woke up fighting for my life, realizing the sheets were actually just wrapped around my ankle. Other
You
horrible
must have moved
nightmares
a
I've
lot in,
had.
oh, it was when you were jogging in your sleep, you must have actually been moving.
Right.
Hmm.
Yes, exactly. I was running for my life, y'all. So, no, nightmare that I had was that stayed with me for a very long time was the wedding. Um, this is where my dreams were getting biblical, right? Sort of into the world prophetic type dreams. Nothing in the imagery was bad, but there was this overwhelming feeling of terror for me through the whole dream. So I dreamed I was in this wedding, but I was holding dead flowers. And then when I got to the altar, I turned around and there was nothing there. There's no man, but there was this big stone that was cracking, and inside the stone, I knew there was this horrible thing that was escaping. And then I was told that Arthur was coming for his sword. right?
That's pretty
Um,
biblical, not biblical, prophetic.
Prophetic, right? And so this dream, and it was a long dream, right?
So would King
Mhm.
Arthur be a part of the Fisher King prophecies, which are
It
Christian-based
could be,
prophecies?
yeah, yeah, it could
Oh,
be,
okay, so then again, it would be biblical then.
yeah. So, I had these, you know, and I would have these end of the world type dreams all the time.
And King
Um,
Arthur coming back is the end of the world dream.
right, right. Inside, I wake up upset and terrified and um, emotionally distraught. And I would see images of news events and these horrible, like thousands of fish dying, and which we've seen fish
Yeah,
die, fish killings lately. So,
and things falling through
you
the
know,
air.
right. And it was just, there's a lot of things that I saw when I was a child that I'm looking at now going, well, fine. you know so I would have these horrible dreams, and so I didn't have anyone to go to with them, right? There was no one to talk to with them. So when my son started having them, it was key to my interest because I knew what he was going through. So parenting is done by our experiences as children. That's why we're such bad parents, because we're just go based on what we were when we were kids, and we
Or
make a lot
what
of
our
mistakes.
parents did. Our parents, and I know I did
Yeah.
that, and I'm going, oh, why did I do that?
Mhm, yeah. And that's okay, but one of the things I did do is I did listen to his dreams, and I started kind of mapping out mm, the ones that were more concerning, you know and then the ones that were just bad dreams that we could like deflate through interpretation. you know um and he had much worse visualized dreams than I did. So the visualization in his dreams were much more poignant and terrifying. um
But on
there
the positive side, he is an extremely imaginative author.
Right. And a artist and a writer, and so again, balance, right? When is nightmare or bad dream something we begin to become concerned about? Right? As parents, why is it important to be aware of? Right? We now know that my son has a minor sleep disorder.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. And this causes bad dreams.
I
Um,
didn't know that sleep disruption or sleep apnea or whatever. I didn't know that I guess it would, because you'd
and
stop breathing and things like that with apnea.
right,
And that would
yeah, you
be
stop
lack of
breathing.
oxygen would cause you to panic.
And also, there's a few people, they don't fall asleep the same way normal people do. Okay, so technically, normal people are supposed to go to sleep. We're supposed to go to sleep, and then we go into, um, restful state. Then we lead up into REM sleep, and then we go out of REM sleep, and we start to wake up.
Mhm.
Right? Some people, there's a break in the pattern and cause them to have nightmares, or not to dream. Some medicines will cause you not to dream. Some medicines your
I
children
must,
take will cause them to have bad dreams.
wouldn't that not dreaming cause you to be a little bit psychotic then? Because I think it's in the dream state that we sort of, that we need to
We
do.
used to think so.
Okay, they don't
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah. This used to be the running theory, all right? And we have a lot of great science fiction shows that mimic this theory. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, we now have come to the understanding that that may not be true.
Okay, I did not know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So there's now the leaning thinking that, um, it might not be as, it's uh, not as significant maybe as we thought as far as mental condition,
Okay.
right?
Well, that's good. Because I know there are
Yeah.
times I can't sleep and I'll go into the alpha state and spend all night there and I'm fine. But there's no,
Hmm.
obviously no dreaming.
Right. Right. So that we've shifted our paradigm and our thinking on that. Now that still needs to be tested out and
Mhm.
proven scientifically, as far as I know from what I've read so far. Okay, so certain medicines can take away your dreams, right? If you're in some kind of long-term treatment, uh, it can also increase your dreams. Just certain medicines increase, certain medicines take away. So if your child is on any kind of medication, right, you need to be checking to see what those side effects are as far as sleeping goes, right?
Do they actually put that in the synopsis? Because I don't ever
Some
remember
of them do,
reading it. I've never read
right?
that, but maybe that's
Right. Yeah, some of them do, some of them don't. It just depends on the your doctor and your pharmacist will look it up though, you
yeah,
know.
they're really good.
So
Most pharmacists,
yeah,
at least here in
yeah.
Canada.
So if you go to your pharmacist, I love my pharmacist. I prefer my pharmacist. My pharmacist gives me more information than my doctor.
I always ask my pharmacist what about the drugs. Always, they're just very
Yeah,
good.
yeah. They're very honest. So if you ask your pharmacist, it could be a medication effect. That's not common, but it happens with medicines, right? Um, if you drink alcohol, right? There's a lot of people who have chronic nightmares that self-medicate with alcohol. They become alcoholics because alcohol lowers the
What
dream
about
state.
marijuana?
I've never checked REM with marijuana because I've never had anybody come up with me with an issue for it. So I don't know.
No, I don't know either. I just
Um,
wondering because it is fairly prevalent most
yeah,
places. I'm from BC, right? So
yeah, yeah,
it is more prevalent
yeah,
here.
and
Hello,
it's
Maria.
yeah, yeah. It's important for me to let y'all know I am not a sleep specialist and I am not a sleep therapist. Uh, I'm not
But
a doctor.
but
I do dream interpretation.
you have
Right.
lived through a lot of dreaming experiences and done a lot of research on it.
Yes.
Hazel Gabara says she
Yes.
can't remember her dreams.
Okay. So when we don't remember our dreams, it doesn't mean that we're not dreaming. Okay. So it's important to remember that. Many of us don't remember our dreams. Right? Or we remember a fragment of it as we're waking up and we're becoming into the normal waking world. The dream sleep time, you got to realize a lot's going on when you're sleeping.
Mhm.
Right? A lot is going on in your brain, a lot's going on in your body. This is the time of reshuffling memory. We cerebral wash, I believe, is going on. There's an uptake of certain um, uh, nutrients that are only done in sleep.
There's
So there's
hormonal
lots
changes
going
at
on.
specific times of the night and day.
Right.
I
Yeah.
think
That's
I
why
think
certain vitamins.
like for men at 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 to 9,
Hmm.
their male hormones kick in a little stronger. And for women, it's
Yep.
between 11 and 1. The female hormones kick in stronger. I just learned that. I thought that's very interesting.
It is super interesting what
Yeah.
goes on in the body while you're sleeping, and especially children. They're growing. There's a lot of growing done while sleeping. So if you don't remember your dreams, it's not normal. It's actually just probably a sign that you're getting better sleep than most of us. so
Well, I only
so it's
remember my
okay.
dreams when something's really intense happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot of us. A lot of us have that one or two the normal range of dream remembrance is the one or two dreams that when our lives are really stressful, that's we remember them.
Yeah.
Uh, there are some things that you can do to help you remember your dreams, right? Um, I had a dream I did on dreams and visions. I did a video on crystals to put by your bedside table. All right. Um, One of the things that you can do to enhance dream recall, as far as crystals go, is amethyst or quartz. All right. If you have nightmares,
Quartz? You want quartz in sleep time?
only if you're trying to remember your dreams.
Okay. Well, it does
Right.
magnify.
And you don't, right. I don't recommend the clear quartz, but like the amethyst is the type of quartz, or a, so they call it the dream quartz or the shamanistic quartz,
What about the
with a
citrine?
lot of inclusions. The citrine works. It works really good. It's just so many people associate that with money.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Because it's yellow?
I I am not sure how that got started. I couldn't tell you. It's just it's
usually
known as the gambler's, yeah,
yeah.
gambler stone and the merchant stone, and so it's more associated. They keep it in cash registers or by your computer if you work on the computer and you want to make money, which is what I need to start doing. So I need to get me a piece.
Me too.
So,
Me too. My bathroom is
yeah.
at a stall. We're having to bring in a specialist now.
Oh
I am
God,
not
my
happy.
heart. I wouldn't be either. I'd be so gripey. But yeah, no.
I've had sponge bath for a month now.
Oh,
You know what sponge bath
you
is
come over to
like?
my house.
Yeah, a real shower would be just a dream right now.
Oh, you have my sympathies. After the hurricanes, I think it was like 3 months before I had a shower. So, and then it was a cold shower. Mm-mm,
But it was
mm-mm.
still a shower.
It was still a shower.
I
I
just
think at one
we're heading to the top of the hour.
Sure. Are there any questions?
So Hazel said thank you, and I think we made Kathy Cephalus laugh. So that's cool. And
That's
that's
cool.
yeah.
That's it. Okay.
But
Well, if you,
but you have covered the dream very clearly, I believe. So
yeah,
so just to recap, if your children are having a lot of bad dreams or nightmares, write them in, journal them, right? So that you
right,
can take them to the professionals. Grit teeth.
right. So you take them to the professionals and you journal how many they're having.
Do they
If they're
journal
just
what
having,
they're about?
you can. There can be a lot of information in dreams if the person knows how to actually speak the dream language,
Okay, so that
which is
probably
what I do.
motivates a lot of
Yeah,
people. So
right.
Kathy says, are there three phases of sleep? The REM.
There are three main phases.
Yeah.
Three main phases. Uh, we have there's again, there's a lot that happens when you sleep and when you rest. So these three main phases, they can be broken up depending on who you study under and who you learn under, in college, and how far deeply you go into the sleep cycle as to what happens, how these stages are broken up. But yeah, usually there's three main stages.
Does it matter how heavy you sleep or how light you sleep? Because I can wake up really fast,
Yeah.
but that towards
Yeah,
the
as
morning
far
I
as
have a hard time waking up.
yeah, as far as dreaming goes, heavy and light sleep, being a light sleeper may interrupt your sleep.
It's not
Right.
going to interrupt the dream.
So, right, but it's not going to interrupt this as long as you get a 3 hour span. All right, on average, for the average person, it's 3 hours for a full sleep cycle. All right. Now, if you and I'm just going with information that I've learned through study. So, and again, I don't have a degree through this. So just make sure you verify your facts. If you have a question about this, I don't blame you. But this normal average 3 hours. as long as you get 3 hours. Now, what happens if you wake up during a dream is very interesting. So this is why you need to, like, a lot of times your children are going through their sleep cycles. It's the reason we have bedtime, because if you wake up during a dream, your day is going to be messed up. Right? I'm sorry. If you wake up during that REM cycle, and it's been my personal experience, and it's supported as far as I know. But if you wake up during that REM cycle, you're just not going to feel the same as if you wake up during one of the other cycles. So
yeah, I've been woken up from a dream. That's not fun.
Yeah, it takes you longer to get on track with the day. It takes you longer to get in a good mood. It's better to make, and it's really kind of weird because there's programs that can help you track this. I think they make apps for that now. I think my son has one.
Apps for everything.
Yeah. So you can track, how you're dreaming, and so you don't accidentally wake up. You can set your alarm clock. You can time your bedtime so that you're not waking up during that, sort of heightened brain activity of dreams. That was a good question.
Kathy says, wow. She finds it very interesting. At least I'm assuming that's what Welsh means.
Yeah. So yeah, those are all great questions. If you are interested in dream interpretations, if you need a dream interpreted, that is where I reign supreme.
She's really good. I've read her dream interpretations. They just blow me away.
So if you need, or if your child explains a dream that you're confused about, we have a very low price on dream interpretations. We have very low, they're the lowest price. If you're having chronic nightmares, oftentimes get with me. I have a heart for people who have that.
And visions. Elizabeth has
right.
Dreams and Visions on Facebook, which is very, so Kathy says she knows, but yes. We're talking to everybody too. We're trying to sell
Dreams and Visions. Yeah, Dreams and Visions. And if you come to the Dreams and Visions group, I often do a group special once a month.
So Kathy, usually you are excellent, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That made me smile. I do. I'm trying to post more things on dreams and sleep on that page, and post more things about dream symbols. I'm going to start the dream symbol of the week again, so you can get, an in-depth look of what a symbol may mean. It's also a page where I'll answer like a quick question about a symbol in a dream. So you can post your dreams.
Not the full, right?
Yeah, at least part of the answer, not the whole. But a lot of times that's all people really need, which makes me broke. Sometimes they just need a little bit of information, and they're like, oh yeah, I got that, so it's a good little offshoot for wisdom seekers. You'll see a lot of wisdom seekers stuff on there.
It's actually almost as big as the Wisdom Seekers group, eh?
Yeah, it is. You'll also find a lot of my romp-arounds. Like I do a lot of romp-arounds on there. So you'll get the puppy post and the sage sayings and Monday motivational videos. And
she's got a new dog.
And I got a new dog. And actually, so there's a lot of a lot of extra stuff goes on Dreams and Visions.
But it's a very active site, and there are a lot of the people, they're very active on the site. It's very important. People are very interested in
My heart's with wisdom seekers, though, and I do 3 wisdom seeker videos a month. So those are this one. I do the E-squared, and I do the in-depth. So if you like these kind of topics, the in-depth one is the one that you really want to listen to, because I get into the nitty-gritty.
That's the week after next.
Right. And we get into the nitty-gritty of a topic, and we really tear it down. Also, on the Friday night video on Dreams and Visions, I'll do one thing. Like I'll do, like this week I did the my choice for your bedside table, what rock I would recommend.
Yeah.
We broke down rosemary, we broke down cedarwood, essential oils. So that Friday night video is also a detailed informational video. I love to hear myself talk, and I don't mind talking to y'all. So these videos are mostly about me talking to y'all and just passing on information. Uh, you know, I don't really use them as a sell point, and I don't do many interactives. So
Do you know what you're going to talk about on your next in-depth? Do you have an idea yet?
sort of. I've been playing around with the Tao Te Ching and the sort of the concept of nothingness. Right. So I did a short video on Friday night about nothing, which was a deeper topic than you may think.
No,
And
it's
I would like
huge.
to, it is a huge topic. So I would like to like pull that over into the in-depth and expand on it.
The I Ching you said?
The Tao Te Ching.
Okay. Is that different from the I Ching, or is it just the pronunciation?
Probably this pronunciation.
Okay.
So
because I'm a
yeah,
Canadian,
it's
so I
just
pronounce it like a Canadian.
yeah, yeah, that's so true. That gets me so confused sometimes.
That's all right. You should listen to you.
I would, I feel sorry for people who have to listen to me.
Oh,
Like,
no,
first
no,
off,
I
I'm
don't
really
mean it that
bossy.
way. I mean, it's just your pronunciations and things are going, okay, translate.
Well, that's what I was getting to. I was like, first off, I'm very bossy, and second off, I got this Southern style of talking,
which we enjoy, actually. It just, I
yeah,
still have to translate at times.
sometimes. Yeah, I said something to I was talking to somebody the other day from up north, and I was like, what? And, and then I went to go on, and they started answering me like I had asked them a question.
Uh-huh.
And
Because that was
I got
the question.
confused. Yeah. I got confused. It's not a question down here, it's an exclamation.
And I know that because I read about it.
Yes.
But doesn't mean I wouldn't answer you. Well, like in Canada, we say, yeah, no, all the time.
Yeah. Yes, they say, yeah, no. That is so confusing.
But if you say, oh, yeah, that's a different meaning.
Right. And yeah, because, the Canadians are awesome people. Yeah, but they do that to me. And they'll be like, yeah, no. And I'm like,
what?
They don't want that? They want that? Yeah.
So
it's
yeah,
fun.
no means yes. Fun. No, yeah means no.
Yes. And and the rest of us are going,
eh?
Do we? Yeah. It's like, which way do I go on this one?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, see, I did it. You got me doing it. Yeah, no.
It works. I mean, it gives you time to think.
It's contagious.
Right? But anyhow, I am very sorry. I do have to leave. So Wednesday.
I do too.
Maddie's doing the interactive. No, meditation. And Maddie's always really good. Nicola is not on this Thursday. I got it right. I hopefully will be on YouTube Friday. Hopefully. If not Friday, Saturday. Hopefully. Yeah, because this last time, the energies were so strange. I literally could not connect to the intuition. Literally, somebody asked me a question. It took me a whole minute to connect. And then I was fine, but I thought, it already takes 2 hours to do an interactive. This way it takes 3 hours. I can't do that.
Yeah.
But but it's much better. By Sunday, it was much better. So
it was rough, man. I was having trouble myself.
Everybody I know is going through I think it's an upgrade. So
yeah.
Rough upgrade, I do the upgrade.
Yeah, and this doesn't help because like yesterday, if y'all don't know, was a party day for us. And so I
July
partied
4th, yeah.
and I'm kind of like, yeah, I am kind of ready to go lay down and recover.
Well,
I was
yeah,
recovering before I did this video.
so I don't know what an answer to that is, but sleep is usually a good one.
It is. It is an excellent one.
Okay, so I will talk to you later, and thank you so very much. This has been an excellent.
You're welcome.
It's been very informative. I appreciate it
It's
very
been a lot
much.
of fun.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
we should do
Right.
something like that again, because I think a lot of people don't know where to go to find out about subjects like nightmares. I mean, you can go for a book and there's a light like this, a little bit, but
Yeah.
they haven't got the lived experience. Books can be very dry.
Yeah.
And how do you deal with it? How do you get help for it? When do you get help for it? I mean,
Yeah.
we answered a lot of those questions. So,
Yeah.
okay. And then I think what we should do is one on dream prophecies, because that dream you had was extremely interesting. And not that you have to
We can
put
do
out your
that.
prophecies, but I mean, you could put out the prophecy part of not the dream.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh, we could
well,
do that. Yeah.
I think that'd be great.
Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
I'm so bad at goodbyes. Namaste, namaskar.